Hey everyone, looking forward to answering this question today around what it's like to be a coach when originally licensed and trained as a psychotherapist. And I get questions like this all the time because I have coaches and therapists in all of my containers. I love getting to be somebody that walks in both worlds. My original training was actually as a coach in 2015. No, 2005. And then I trained and went to grad school to become a psychotherapist, then got licensed, and then transitioned back into using my coaching certificate for most of my work for many reasons. One, I was living out of the country. That enabled me to see people all over the world. At the time, it was much easier to see people online and on Zoom. And I love getting to teach just diverse amounts of people all over the world. So using that coaching certificate made more sense. However, everything I do has the foundation of both. I can't completely delete my experiences and knowledge and skills and practice as a therapist. I can't put coaching aside. They're both, at this point in my career, over a decade and a half, part of me and part of who I am. And so this question is really important. The question is, I am currently a licensed therapist myself, looking to transition into trauma-informed coaching. Working with trauma and anxiety is my specialty. I'm curious if you have thoughts or resources somewhere on how to offer this kind of coaching in a way that goes deep and powerfully serves clients without bordering into therapy per se. This is a block that holds me back from jumping into coaching. This is a block that holds a lot of people from becoming coaches as therapists for our own safety, for our own ethics. We have an ethics board. It's important to stay aligned with our own values and integrity. And I actually coach and support people completely differently based on this and what your own wishes, desires, and fears are, and what's actually in alignment and integrity to you. And so, bottom line, what I'll share is that if I'm ever wondering if I'm bordering into therapy, I ask myself, is this in the highest service of my client? Is using this tool, this intervention, this way of being, or this modality going to deeply serve them and nourish them? Or will it potentially cause harm? If it's the second, then I won't be using it. Would it harm them if I didn't offer this as part of my coaching? Would it be out of integrity for me to not show up in a therapeutic role or relationship? And so these are my own ethics, my own values, my own integrity. And that's how I have to check in, because we are living in the Wild West. There are a lot of gray areas, and there are a lot of things we're told we can and cannot do. But the reality is people all over the world and everywhere, and in our country and in our states where we're licensed, are doing a lot of things under the radar. And so we have to be able to have our own compass and a community, a network of peers and colleagues that can help check us, right? If we're just making up our own minds what we think is most of service, sometimes we need to check that out with the people around us because we just don't know. But my bottom line is this in the highest service of my client, or might it harm them? And that helps me make a choice point every step of the way with which modality I'm using, which interventions, and how I'm being with them. And that goes all the way down to the forms I create, the agreements I have before we start working together, and what I tell them along the way. The reality is my work as a coach is deeply therapeutic. It is healing for trauma because I couldn't leave that out. It's embedded in who I am and how I be with people in my work and in my day-to-day life. So these are things we have to consult with each other around every step of the way, and our own inner compasses. Maybe it's more messy, maybe it's more clear, but I really hope that gives you a jumping off point to explore what's in the highest service for you and your business as well.